A dry wind swept across the rocky hills of Mavari, a once vibrant village now weary from years of drought. The people moved slowly, their eyes downcast, their spirits drained. But up on the ridge, overlooking the land, stood a figure known by all, Commander Daran. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a face carved like stone, Daran watched in silence. He had returned after 15 years in exile. They remembered him as a boy, brilliant but unyielding. Now, he was a man with medals, scars, and a reputation for being the coldest leader the army had seen. When the council summoned him to restore Mavari, there was hesitation. Could a man so strict, so severe, lead a broken people back to life? His first day in command was met with silence. The townspeople gathered in the square, whispering behind hands, children hiding behind mothers. Daran stood on the old stone platform. His voice was sharp, every word falling like a hammer. This village will rise. But not with comfort. Not with excuses. He laid out the new structure. Work would start at dawn. Every able person would contribute, no exceptions. The water schedule would be strict. No gatherings after sunset. Some resisted. An old man muttered, "He rules like a sword, not a shepherd." But no one dared defy him openly. The days that followed were hard. Daran patrolled the fields himself. He inspected every irrigation line. He rejected lazy repairs. "Do it again," he'd say without looking back. He spoke little, smiled never. People obeyed him, but they didn't love him. Then one day, a young boy named Tavan collapsed while carrying stones for the new aqueduct. The workers panicked. Someone yelled, "He's too harsh." Even the children break under him. Daran walked over in silence. He knelt beside the boy, checked his breathing, and without a word, lifted him in his arms and walked him all the way to the infirmary. He stayed until the boy woke. Then quietly returned to work. No one expected that. A week later, the village faced a setback. Half the new crops had withered from improper planting. A young man, Lur, had overseen the plot. Lur stood trembling before Daran. The commander's gaze was cold. "You failed your task," he said. "What did you learn?" "I didn't test the soil properly. I didn't ask the elders for help," Lur confessed. Daran didn't yell. He pointed to the dry land. "Then fix it. Start again. No punishment, just results." That moment spread like wildfire through the village. Daran wasn't cruel. He was precise. He didn't punish failure, only laziness. But the biggest change came when he called a meeting under the full moon. Everyone expected another speech. Instead, Daran told a story. "I once served under a general in the southern borderlands," he said. "He was kind. Too kind. He forgave mistakes, overlooked rules. We liked him. Then one day he made a soft call on security. We were ambushed. I watched my closest friend die because kindness replaced discipline." He paused, his voice quieter. "So yes, I am strict. Because I won't let this village fall while I'm in charge." People listened differently after that. They worked harder. Not out of fear, but respect. Slowly things changed. Children who once played in dust now carried baskets of ripe produce. The cracked wells were flowing again. The streets were swept. The nights were quiet. Daran still didn't smile. But people began to greet him with nods, with small words of gratitude. One morning, a group of young boys saluted him, giggling. He paused, nodded once, and walked on. An elder named Rema approached him weeks later. "We used to think you led with iron. Now we see, you lead with fire. And fire, when used right, gives life." Daran didn't respond. He just looked out at the sunrise over the now green fields of Mavari. His methods hadn't changed. But the village had. Because discipline wasn't his goal, it was his tool. The real goal was revival. And sometimes the leader you need isn't the warmest voice, but the steadiest hand. A leader who dares to be disliked, so others can survive.
If you found this video helpful, kindly support us by subscribing. If you found this video helpful, kindly support us by subscribing.